So let's talk about Somali families and how they conduct themselves in terms of culture. Now let's break it down from multiple levels back down to the smallest level that it can be. Typically, Somali parents, they're not very good at parenting in a Western culture. Typically, the mom, Somali mom, typically she's a fresh person off the boat from Somalia back to England, and there's a lot of things, there's a lot of moving parts here, but let me try to break it down for you in a simplistic way. So, the Somali moms come from Somalia fresh, and they come to England. Typically, primarily England, because the benefit system is a little bit more simpler and easier to trick and to scheme and be a little scammer. A lot of Somali people in England are scammers. Even though, I mean, obviously you can't stereotype an entire group of people, but you can generalize. Just like white people. White people, they generalize all the time. They generalize all the time. So, typically, I would say Somali people, I'm Somali, so take it with a grain of salt. But typically, Somali people can't be trusted, man. I know it sounds coonish and you're going to say self-hatred and blah, blah, blah. But in reality, it's true. Like, it's not, like, I'm not lying to you guys. I'm telling you the truth here. I mean, Somali people are not trustworthy. You can't trust them. Nothing. You can't. The amount of scams I've heard about in Birmingham in England is so insane. They do bank scams, they take over your account, they steal your money, they lie to you, they do fraudulent chargebacks, they do Amazon scams, they do this, they do that. Like, there's just a multitude of things that happen over there. There's a high crime rate in Birmingham. It's full of gangs, Somali gangs, because the boys in England, they're losers, man. Most of them are losers, bro. None of them have gone to university. None of them have graduated. Most of them live at home with their parents. They don't have a job. They sit around playing video games all day and smoking weed. That's all they do, dude. That's all they do. All they do is sit there and smoke weed and play video games all day. And they don't even pay for the Xbox subscription to play online. The mom pays for it and she's a cleaner. Working 2 jobs trying to support a family. And the dad is somewhere in Somalia with 3 wives, bro. That's the norm. That's the norm, guys. That's the norm. That's the baseline. The best among them, that's the best among them. The worst among them, they're in gangs or they're committing crimes or they're doing this and doing. I mean, that's crazy, right? Like, that's just how it is. I'm not. And who's to blame for that? Who's to blame for the rise in crime? Who's to blame for the dysfunctional culture? Who's to blame for Somali state? Who's to blame? Who do you blame for this? Who do you blame? Tell me. Huh? Who do you blame for this? Of course, it's the parents. I mean, of course. I mean, obviously, a lot of people are going to say in the comment section, oh, but some kids turn out well, even though the other kids don't turn out well. And they have the same parents, so wouldn't you say that the kid is to blame because the siblings didn't turn out bad, and even though they had the same parents? Well, typically parents have favorites. They have favorite children that they like more than the others. So they don't treat all the children the same. It's not like a uniform pattern to where every person is treated fair and equal. Life isn't fair, so I'm not mad about that. I'm just saying, like, life isn't fair, so it is what it is. But that's how it kind of looks like, and then people say, "Oh, they're treated fair." No, they're not, man. That doesn't happen in life. That never happens in life. Nobody gets treated fair and equal. That's just a myth. That's a myth. That's it's never gonna happen. Treated fair and equal. Come on, bro. Just sit down somewhere and go eat some. I don't know what the fuck you're gonna eat, but just go some noodles or something, dude. Ain't nobody gonna get treated fair and equal. If everybody was getting treated fair and equal, the Holocaust wouldn't have happened. If everyone was getting treated fair and equal, all these different genocide in the rape of 9 King wouldn't have happened in World War II if everyone was treated fair and equal. Bro, these people are living in a fairy tale land of like some type of mythical creature's gonna come down and save them, dude. Like, sit down somewhere, man. Anyways, moving on. I feel like it's the fathers though. I feel like the fathers are more to blame for the dysfunction and the toxicness, because you're supposed to be the leader, right? Let me give you guys an analogy. If the president of the United States makes a mistake in foreign policy, who's to blame? It's the president of the United States. He's the leader. Now, if you're the leader of your household and you make a mistake, or someone else makes a mistake under your leadership, you're to blame because you're the leader. That's how it works. But typically Somali men, they don't want the burden of leadership because they feel like, oh, I don't need to take all this responsibility. It's not my problem. That's how they kind of think. And they're very tribalistic. Let's go back to the tribalistic part. It all ties back into Qabil. Everything that I'm talking about ties back to Qabil. And Qabil means tribe. And tribe means tribalism. And tribalism means chaos and dysfunction. And that's what Somalis thrive in, because Somalia is chaos and dysfunction. There's no functioning police force. It's your Qabil versus this Qabil. Your Qabil protects you. If someone harms you, the only person that can protect you is your Qabil. It's also, well, I can't necessarily blame them, because who else is going to protect them if not their Qabil? But then at the same time, the Qabil is dangerous because they're unfairly attacking innocent people and taking things by force. And so it's kind of a double-edged sword in a way, because it's not necessarily good and it's not necessarily bad, because they need it. So how do you fix Somalia? How do you fix Somali people? How do you fix Somalia? How do you fix Somali culture? I think we're doomed, man. I think the reality is we're doomed. Somalia is doomed. Somali people are doomed. They're never gonna... We're gonna be a permanent underclass of society. Yeah, probably, man. We're probably gonna be a permanent underclass. We're at the bottom of society. For sure. I mean, Somali community, come on, we're at the bottom of society. I would say the blacks are a bit below Somali people on the society thing. Whites are at the top. Then it's Somali people are somewhere here. Asians are kind of in the middle or upper tier. Asians are somewhere here. Whites here. Somali people here. I mean, that's just the reality of the world, and that's how it's gonna be forever. I mean, Somalia is not gonna change. You think people change in a day? It takes generations and generations. And even then they may not change because they pass down their same traits to their children. It takes an exceptional person to break that bond, to break free of that. It takes a special person, bro.